Oh man, the tension is palpable in the basketball world as JuJu Watkins faces backlash after a shocking comment about Caitlin Clark. The anti-Clark sentiment seems to be growing, with some players positioning themselves as the next big thing in women's basketball. However, Watkins has crossed a line, and the fallout is escalating. Watkins, a standout player for USC and widely regarded as a future star in the WNBA, recently made headlines not for her incredible talent, averaging 21.7 points per game, but for a comment during an interview with Forbes star. In a moment that many fans viewed as a blatant snub, she credited A'ja Wilson for the growth of women's basketball, omitting Caitlin Clark, whom many consider one of the sport's most significant contributors in recent years. This perceived slight has sent shockwaves through the basketball community, and fans are furious. The context. Caitlin Clark's impact on women's basketball is undeniable. She has not only broken records but also rewritten the narrative of what the sport can achieve. Her performances during the NCAA tournament drew millions of viewers, often surpassing those of men's games, making her a household name. Given this context, JuJu's decision to exclude Clark from the conversation felt like an intentional dig to many fans. The backlash has been swift and unrelenting. While JuJu's talent is impressive, the stakes couldn't be higher for her now. Fans are divided, and the narrative surrounding this incident is electric. Clark's dedicated fanbase reacted immediately, flooding social media to defend their icon. Many argued that by failing to mention Clark when discussing the growth of women's basketball, Watkins was not just overlooking a key player but actively undermining her contributions. The backlash. The uproar around JuJu's comment has intensified since the Forbes interview was published. Critics have accused her of being ungrateful and petty, suggesting that she couldn't handle sharing the spotlight with someone who has become the face of women's basketball. How can you talk about the growth of women's basketball and not mention Caitlin Clark? One fan tweeted, encapsulating the sentiment of many. Some have speculated whether JuJu's omission was a calculated move or an innocent mistake taken out of context. Regardless, the damage is done, and the perceptions are clear. This incident has fueled a debate that goes beyond the players involved, shining a light on the rivalries that can plague women's basketball. A divisive figure. Caitlin Clark has often faced subtle snubs from her peers, and this incident is no exception. The media has framed her as a polarizing figure, which might stem from jealousy among other players. Her ability to draw massive crowds and set viewership records has placed her in a unique position, often overshadowing contributions from others. This can create tension, especially among players who feel their own efforts are being minimized. Watkins' comment fits into this narrative, reinforcing the idea that Clark's success has made her a target for criticism. The question arises, why is Caitlin Clark so divisive? Part of the answer lies in her extraordinary performance on the court. With great success comes scrutiny, and the pressure to succeed can make it difficult for other players to celebrate her achievements without feeling overshadowed. JuJu's response and the fallout. The backlash against JuJu has been severe. Social media has become a battleground, with supporters of both players clashing over the issue. JuJu's defenders argue that her admiration for A'ja Wilson is valid and that the outrage is an overreaction. However, for many fans, this isn't just about one comment. It's about a pattern of behavior that diminishes Caitlin's impact on the sport. Adding to the situation is JuJu's silence in the face of criticism. She has yet to address the controversy, leaving fans to speculate about her intentions. Some believe this silence could be a strategic move to avoid further backlash, while others see it as an admission of guilt. The longer she remains quiet, the more the narrative spirals out of control. Caitlin Clark's grace under fire. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has chosen to focus on her game, deliberately staying out of the spotlight surrounding this controversy. Her decision to rise above the drama has further endeared her to fans, who appreciate her maturity and professionalism. This approach reinforces her image as a role model, showing that her focus remains on the sport itself rather than the petty rivalries that can arise. The media has also played a significant role in shaping this narrative, framing JuJu's comment as part of a larger issue within women's basketball: the lack of unity among players. Analysts argue that instead of celebrating each other's successes, players often find themselves caught in rivalries that detract from the sport's progress. The bigger picture. This incident highlights a larger challenge facing women's basketball. While the sport has made significant strides, there is still work to be done to foster a sense of community among players. The divisions that arise from comments like JuJu's can hold the sport back from reaching its full potential. For JuJu Watkins, the stakes have never been higher. How she navigates this situation will shape her career and her standing among fans and peers. If she addresses the criticism head-on, she might be able to salvage her reputation. However, remaining silent could allow the narrative to spiral further out of her control. As the dust settles from this controversy, one question remains. What does this mean for the future of women's basketball? Will it serve as a wake-up call for players to unite, or will it deepen existing divisions? The basketball world is watching closely, and as JuJu Watkins contemplates her next move, the implications of this incident extend far beyond just her reputation. It's a moment that could define not only her career but also the trajectory of women's basketball as a whole. The pressure is on, and every decision matters.